The phone rang in the dead of night, shattering the fragile peace Alex had built over years of solitude. It was his nephew, Jamie, voice trembling like a leaf in a storm, whispering words that clawed at old wounds. "Uncle Alex, Mom's been lying to us all this time." Alex's heart plummeted, the past rushing back like a tidal wave, drowning him in memories of betrayal that had defined his life. Alex had always been the quiet one in the family, the boy who preferred sketching dreams in notebooks over roughhousing with his cousins in their suburban Chicago home. His sister Emily, 2 years older, was his shield, the fierce protector who stood between him and their father's unyielding expectations. "He's just sensitive, Dad," she'd say with that defiant spark in her eyes, buying Alex time to figure out the storm brewing inside him. But when he finally confessed at 17, in the dim light of their kitchen after a family dinner gone sour, the words tumbled out, "Emily, I'm gay." Her face, usually so animated, froze. For a moment, hope flickered. He thought she'd defend him again, wrap him in that sisterly armor. Instead, she stepped back, eyes wide with something akin to horror. "You can't be," she murmured, but it wasn't denial. It was disgust masked as concern. That night, as their parents erupted in righteous fury, Emily didn't speak up. She let the silence swallow him whole. The fallout was swift and merciless. Their father, a stern factory foreman with Bible verses etched into his worldview, declared Alex a disgrace, banishing him from the house with a suitcase and a one-way bus ticket to anywhere but here. Alex's mind raced in those frantic hours. Why didn't she fight for me? We shared secrets, laughed through tears. Was it all a lie? He replayed every childhood memory, searching for cracks in their bond, but found only his own naivety staring back. Emily's parting words haunted him. "I can't protect you from this, Alex. It's wrong. Wrong." The word echoed in his skull as he boarded the bus to New York, leaving behind the only family he'd known. In the city, he scraped by waiting tables, his heart a tangled mess of anger and longing. Why her, of all people? She knew me deepest. How could she turn away? Nights blurred into a haze of isolation, where he'd whisper to empty rooms, "If I could just change, maybe she'd come back." But change wasn't an option. It was a betrayal of self. Years stretched into a decade, and Alex built a life from the ruins. He found solace in art school, where colors on canvas expressed what words couldn't. There, he met David, a fellow student with kind eyes and a laugh that thawed the ice around Alex's heart. Their connection was tentative at first, born from shared critiques in class, but it deepened into something real, a quiet love that didn't demand perfection. David understood the scars. His own coming out had cost him friends, but not family. "You're enough, Alex," he'd say, holding him through nightmares of abandonment. Yet, even in David's arms, Alex's thoughts drifted to Emily. What if I reached out? Would she see me now, not as a sinner, but as her brother? The doubt gnawed at him, a constant whisper. Family should be unconditional, but mine wasn't. He sent letters, tentative olive branches, but they returned unopened, sealing the rift. Jamie's call that night yanked Alex back to the present. At 25, Jamie was a ghost from the past. The nephew Alex had only seen in faded photos smuggled by a sympathetic aunt. "I found something in Mom's attic," Jamie said, his voice cracking. "Letters, journals, stuff about you. It's not what she told us." Alex's pulse thundered. What truth could possibly rewrite this pain? He gripped the phone, inner turmoil surging. After all this time, does it even matter? But curiosity, laced with dread, won out. "Tell me everything," he urged, as the first threads of a long-buried secret began to unravel. In the days that followed, Alex paced his small Brooklyn apartment, David's steady presence an anchor amid the chaos. Jamie's revelations came in hushed emails, pieced together like a puzzle Alex hadn't known was incomplete. Emily had defended him once, yes, but the abandonment? It wasn't just homophobia. There was more, something twisted in their family's web. Alex's mind spiraled. If she had reasons, why hide them? Am I ready to forgive? Or will this destroy me again? The conflict tore at him, pitting loyalty against self-preservation. David urged caution. Don't let this pull you under. But Alex couldn't stop. The hook was set, dragging him toward a confrontation years in the making. Alex stared at the email from Jamie, the screen's glow casting shadows on his face as doubt and hope warred within him. Why now? After 15 years of silence, why dredge up the past? He thought of Emily's face that fateful night, the way her eyes had darted away, avoiding the plea in his own. It wasn't just rejection. It was a calculated severance, one that left him questioning his worth every day since. Jamie's messages painted a picture Alex could scarcely believe. In Emily's old journals, hidden in dusty boxes, were entries from their teenage years, confessions of her own struggles, hints of a family secret that bound her tighter than Alex had imagined. Dad threatened to cut me off if I supported Alex, one entry read. He said it'd ruin my future, my marriage prospects in our circle. Alex's chest tightened. So it was fear, not hate? But why not tell me? The inner accusation burned. She chose her comfort over my life. He recalled the bus ride out of Chicago, tears streaming as he clutched a photo of them as kids, laughing in the backyard. That innocence felt like a mockery now. David, sensing the storm, wrapped an arm around him. This doesn't excuse her, but it explains. Alex pulled away, turmoil bubbling. Explanation isn't absolution. How many nights did I cry alone because she stayed silent? As more details emerged, the family's conservative underbelly revealed itself. Their father, pillar of the community church, had wielded influence like a weapon, enforcing norms that crushed deviation. Emily, groomed to be the perfect daughter, had married young into a similar family, birthing Jamie in a life scripted by expectation. But Jamie's own story added layers. At college, he'd come out as gay himself, facing Emily's initial recoil before her reluctant acceptance. She cried when I told her, Jamie wrote, said it reminded her of you, and how she failed. Failed? Alex's mind reeled. If she regretted it, why not reach out? The hypocrisy stung, fueling a rage he'd long suppressed. He paced, whispering to himself, I built myself without her. Why let this in now? David suggested a meeting, neutral ground in a Chicago cafe. Alex hesitated, heart pounding with what-ifs. What if she denies it all? What if seeing her shatters the walls I've built? But the pull was irresistible. Closure, or perhaps revenge, beckoned. On the flight, memories assaulted him. Emily braiding his hair as a joke, defending him from bullies. Those acts of love clashed with the abandonment, creating a cacophony in his soul. Landing in O'Hare, the familiar chill of the city mirrored his dread. Jamie met him first, a young man with Emily's eyes but Alex's quiet intensity. She's nervous, Jamie admitted, but she wants to talk. Alex nodded, steeling himself. This isn't forgiveness. It's facing the ghost. The cafe was bustling, a stark contrast to the heaviness in Alex's chest. Emily arrived, older but unmistakably his sister, lines of worry etching her face. She sat, hands trembling. Alex, she began, voice breaking. I don't know where to start. He fixed her with a stare, inner voice screaming. Start with why you left me to rot. But he said, Jamie told me about the journals. Dad's threats. Her eyes widened, then filled with tears. It was more than that. He said if I stood by you, he'd expose something about Mom. Alex leaned in, confusion mounting. Mom? Their mother had died young. A car accident shrouded in whispers. What about her? Emily hesitated, glancing around. She was, like you, gay. Dad found out and... Her voice trailed off, but the implication hung heavy. The accident wasn't accidental. Alex's world tilted. Suicide? Cover-up? The revelation hit like a freight train, unraveling everything. So Emily's silence was protection. From a truth that could destroy them all? But at what cost to me? He fought the urge to scream, instead murmuring, You let me think I was the monster. Emily sobbed. I was scared, Alex. For myself, for my future. Selfish, his mind accused, but pity crept in, unwanted. The conversation stretched, accusations flying like daggers. You married into the same cage, he said bitterly. She nodded, defeated. And now Jamie's paying the price. Jamie, watching silently, interjected. That's why I dug this up, to break the cycle. Leaving the cafe, Alex's emotions churned. A toxic mix of empathy and fury. David called, his voice a lifeline. How are you? Broken? Alex admitted, tears flowing. Was her fear justified? Or just cowardice? The question haunted him, escalating the internal war as truths piled upon lies. Alex lay awake that night in a nondescript Chicago hotel. The city's hum a distant roar compared to the tempest in his mind. Emily's words replayed endlessly. Mom was gay. Dad knew. The accident. He curled into himself, questioning every family story he'd clung to. If this was true, then my pain was just collateral in their web of secrets. But why burden me with isolation? The betrayal deepened, not lessened by explanation. It amplified the sense of being expendable. Jamie visited the next morning, bearing more artifacts. Faded letters from their mother to a woman named Clara, hidden in Emily's attic. They were lovers, Jamie explained softly. Grandpa found out, confronted her. The accident happened days later. Alex scanned the pages, his mother's elegant script pouring out love and fear. I can't leave the kids, but this life is suffocating, one read. Tears blurred his vision. She suffered like I did. Alone, silenced. Empathy for her surged, but toward Emily? It twisted into resentment. You knew this and still abandoned me? Jamie, sensing the shift, said, Mom hid it to protect us from Grandpa's wrath. But when you came out, it triggered her. Reminded her of what happened to Grandma. Triggered? Alex's inner voice snarled. So I paid for her trauma? The family reunion Jamie arranged felt like walking into a lion's den. Their father, now frail in a nursing home, sat rigidly, eyes sharp despite age. Emily was there, tense, Jamie hovering like a mediator. Alex confronted him. Did you drive Mom to her death because she was gay? The old man's face paled, then hardened. She was weak. I tried to save her soul. Save? Alex's rage boiled over. You destroyed her. And us. Emily interjected, voice quivering. Dad, tell him the truth. But he clammed up, muttering about God's will. The room crackled with unspoken accusations, Alex's heart pounding. This man broke us all, and she enabled it. Why defend him now? Back with David via video call, Alex unloaded. It's all connected. Mom's secret, my exile, Emily's cowardice. David listened, his calm a bomb, but Alex's turmoil escalated. I love you, David said. But don't let this consume you. Love. The word stung. Alex had found it with David, a relationship built on trust, yet shadowed by family wounds. Their bond, once a sanctuary, now felt fragile under this weight. What if I become like her? Afraid to fight. The doubt festered, pushing him toward isolation again. Jamie revealed more. Emily had considered leaving her husband years ago, but stayed for Jamie's sake, echoing their mother's trap. She's miserable, Jamie confessed. Coming out helped me see that. Alex empathized with Jamie's struggle, coming out in a family poisoned by prejudice. But it fueled his anger at Emily. You saw the pattern and repeated it. A heated phone call ensued. Why not break free? Alex demanded. Because I wasn't strong like you, she admitted, sobbing. Strong? He laughed bitterly internally. My strength was survival, forced by your abandonment. The revelations peaked when Jamie uncovered a police report. Hints of foul play in their mother's death, buried by their father's influence. He might have. Jamie trailed off. Murder? The word hung, unspoken, amplifying the horror. Alex's mind fractured. If true, Emily's silence makes her complicit. Forgiveness seemed impossible, yet pity for her trapped life gnawed at him. The conflict tore deeper, pitting justice against blood ties. As days blurred, Alex grappled with choices. Expose the family secrets, risking Jamie's stability, or bury them again. David's voice echoed in his head. What do you need to heal? But healing felt elusive amid the escalating emotional maelstrom, where every truth unearthed more pain. The weight of the police report pressed on Alex like a physical burden, its yellowed pages a testament to buried sins. He sat alone in the hotel, staring at the evidence. Inconsistent witness statements, their father's alibi shaky at best. Did he kill her to hide the shame? The question clawed at his sanity, blending grief for his mother with fury at the cover-up. Emily knew or suspected and chose silence. How do I reconcile loving a sister who's part of this darkness? Jamie's insistence on confronting the full truth pushed Alex to his limits. We can't let him die with this secret, Jamie urged over coffee, his eyes fierce with youthful idealism. But Alex hesitated, inner demons whispering. Exposing it destroys us all. What about your life, Jamie? Your mother's? The moral quandary intensified, a vortex of right and wrong. David, back in New York, pleaded via text, "Come home. This is eating you alive." But Alex couldn't leave. The pull of unresolved pain anchored him. A visit to their mother's grave amplified the torment. Kneeling on the cold earth, Alex whispered apologies. I wish I'd known your struggle. Maybe I could have been stronger for both of us. Tears flowed, mixing with rage toward his father. You stole her from us. And Emily? She arrived unannounced, kneeling beside him. I found those letters after she died, she confessed. Dad made me promise to keep quiet, said it'd ruin you kids. Ruin us? Alex's mind screamed. It did, by forcing us into lies. You could have told me later, he said aloud, voice raw. I was terrified, she replied, breaking down, of losing everything, like she did. Their shared sobs echoed the cemetery's silence, but forgiveness eluded him. Terror doesn't justify betrayal. The family's conservative community added fuel, whispers of scandal reaching Alex through old acquaintances. Your dad's always been strict, one said, unaware of the depths. It highlighted the societal pressures that crushed them, homophobia woven into the fabric of their world, where deviation meant exile. Alex reflected on his own life. In New York, he and David navigated subtle prejudices, but nothing like the outright rejection here. Why fight for a family that embodies hate? Yet Jamie's coming out inspired hope. He was challenging the cycle, dating openly despite backlash. An explosive dinner with extended family escalated the drama. Aunts and uncles, staunch traditionalists, defended their father. He did what was best. Alex snapped. Best? Covering up Mom's misery, and possibly her death. Gasps filled the room, Emily pale as accusations flew. You don't know the half, she muttered, then fled. Jamie chased her, leaving Alex isolated amid judgmental stares. The rejection stung anew. Am I forever the outsider? That night, alone, despair crashed over him. I've lost them again. David flew in, his arrival a lifeline amid the chaos. Holding Alex, he whispered, We're your family now. But the words hollowed Alex. Is blood meaningless or redeemable? The emotional intensity peaked as Emily called, voice shattered. I'm leaving my husband. For Jamie. For you. I can't live the lie anymore. Shock rippled through him. Redemption? Or too late? The revelation forced a choice. Embrace her change or hold on to grudges. As tensions mounted, Alex confronted his father one last time. The old man, bedridden, sneered, Your kind ruins families. Alex retorted, No, secrets and hate do. Walking away, liberation mixed with sorrow. This ends here. But the scars remained, deepening the internal rift as emotions reached a fever pitch. The confrontation with his father left Alex hollowed out, a shell echoing with decades of suppressed agony. He wandered Chicago's streets, mind a whirlwind. If I forgive Emily, do I betray Mom's memory? Or myself? The choice loomed like a guillotine, every step amplifying the ache. David held him that night, but even his touch felt distant, overshadowed by the familial abyss. Jamie's revelation hit hardest. Mom tried to contact you years ago, but Grandpa intercepted the letters. Proof emerged, returned mail, forged rejections. Emily hadn't fully abandoned him. Their father had orchestrated the isolation. But she knew and didn't fight harder? The half-truth lacerated deeper. Partial effort isn't enough. Emily, now separated, poured out regrets in a tear-soaked meeting. I was weak, Alex. Seeing Jamie come out broke me. Made me see my failures. Failures? Alex's inner scream. Yours cost me everything. Yet her vulnerability cracked his armor. We're both victims of the same poison. Societal echoes amplified the pain. News of anti-LGBT bills in the media. Reminders of the world that enabled their suffering. Alex thought of young gays like Jamie, fighting battles he wished unnecessary. We can change this, Jamie said, eyes alight with purpose. But Alex's cynicism battled hope. Change? After all this loss? The internal war raged, pitting despair against tentative optimism. David proposed, let's build our life away from this. But Alex couldn't detach. Blood called, insistent. A family therapy session unraveled more. Emily admitted therapy years ago, confronting her complicity. I hated myself for leaving you, she confessed. Hate yourself? Alex pondered. Does her self-loathing absolve mine? Tears flowed freely, the room thick with raw emotion. Grief for their mother, anger at their father, tentative bridges between siblings. As their father passed weeks later, the funeral became a crucible. Eulogies glossed over sins, but Alex spoke truth in whispers to Jamie. We honor Mom by living openly. Emily nodded, her hand squeezing his, a gesture laden with unspoken apologies. Post-funeral, they shared stories, laughter mingling with sobs. Alex's heart fractured and mended in turns. Is this healing or illusion? Months later, back in New York, Alex and David married in a quiet ceremony. Jamie as witness, Emily beaming through tears. The joy was bittersweet, shadowed by losses. Alex reflected, family isn't given. It's chosen, forged in fire. But doubts lingered. Did Emily earn this redemption? In the end, as peace settled uneasily, one question lingered, sparking endless debate. Was Emily's eventual change enough to forgive her years of silence? Or does true betrayal leave scars that never fully heal?